Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is Dr. Robinson again, and we're going to continue our studies and reviewing for the New York State Grade 7 Mathematics Exam. This is our show number 7. We're getting examples from the last year's 2013 exam. So remember, if you need help with your homework, there's Dial a Teacher Homework Helpline at 212-777-3380. That's 212-777-3380 from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. Watch Math Time on Tuesdays from 4:30 to 8 to 5 p.m. On IO Digital Cablevision, cable channel 15. Here's our first question that we have from last year's sample. So how do you solve for the value of y? So we have 2/3 times y plus 57 equals 178. So normally we would distribute this to those terms on the inside the parentheses. But let me show you something a little bit different instead of distributing. Instead of multiplying by the 2/3 the stuff, I'm going to divide by 2/3, and I'm going to do that on both sides. What that does, it allows me to cancel out the 2/3, leaving me with just y plus 57, and that equals 178 divided by 2/3, which is 267. So now my next step would be to solve for y like I normally would do, where I would just transpose a little bit, minus 57 and minus 57 from this side. And my y's would cancel out, my 57's would cancel out, leaving me with y equal 267 minus 57, which is 210. So that's another way of looking at it instead of distributing the 2/3 to everything inside the parentheses. So you would get the same answer a lot quicker. So that's one way of doing it as opposed to distribution. Let's try another question. Dan bought a computer that was 20% off the regular price of $1,080. All right. If an 8% sales tax was added to the cost of the computer, what was the total price Dan paid for it? Okay, now we got a lot going on here. We have a price of a computer that Dan is buying, and we have a 20% discount. So it looks like I'm going to need my calculator, so let me get my calculator up down there. All right. So let me get my formula to deal with this. So my total cost is equal to the original price times 1 minus the discount rate. So my original price was $1,080. There was a discount I'm going to pay of 20%. Now, this is one way to get the total cost. Another way to get the total cost, instead of saying 20% off, because 1 minus 20%, that'll give you 0.80% or 0.8 or 80%. And then we would multiply that by 1,080. So this is another way of getting your total. So let's get a calculator. Let's get rid of that. All right, let's move that over here. All right, we got 1,080, And I'll even put it in the parentheses just to show you. 1 minus 20%, second left parenthesis, and close that just to show you you'll get it. So that's $884, and that's going to be what the discount amount is. So, and just to show you, if you took the $1,080 and multiplied it by 80%, because that's the total price you would pay, because you're not paying 100%, you're really paying 80%. Because 20% you save, you're going to get the same amount. See, 864. So that's what you would pay for the total. But there's sales tax. Now the sales tax is the amount added on to a price. Now there are a couple ways we can find that, but I'm going to still use our same formula where we have the total equals the original price or the new sales price times 1 plus we're going to add on an additional percentage, 8%. So our new price is 864, and 100% plus 8%, that'll give us 108%. So I'm just going to type that in because you're paying more than 100% of the price. You're paying the total price plus 8%. That's where the 1 plus the 8% comes from. But I'm going to type in the regular parenthesis so you can see that amount. So let's just move this over a little bit. Oh, still got that color on. Let's move that over. All right, so it's clear. So 864 times, I'm sorry, I'm at parenthesis, 1 plus the 8% sales tax, and close parenthesis. This will give us the new total cost, $933.12. And as I said before, since it's 864 was the price, you can multiply that by 108% because you're paying 100% of the price plus an additional 8%. So you'll get the same answer if you notice. So let's bring that out. So what was the total price Dan paid for it? Dan paid $933.12. So there's your total price. Now there's another way, the usual traditional way to do it without the formula, finding the amount of sales tax by itself as well as the discount by itself, adding and subtracting the two would be a way of doing it. But the formula I think is pretty nice, a neat way to wrap it up. So try the formula. I think it works very nicely. Here's an interesting question about Helen bought a sweater at a sale price of $25. The original cost of the sweater was $40. What percent represents the discount that Helen received when buying the sweater? All right, well, we got a sweater that Helen bought, and the sweater, all right, let's see, Helen spent $25 and the original cost was $40. So we were trying to figure out the percent. So what percent would that be? So we have a change in price here from $40 was the original price, to the new price, and that's a change of $15. So 25 over 40 minus 25 is 15. So there's a change of $15. Now this is over the original price. The original price will give us 40. So this represents a percent of change. Because we're trying to find a percent change, this is a percent decrease problem. Because there was a change in the original to the new, and it happened to go down. So if we can get our calculator to find out what's the difference in that change, so what is the decimal? So let's get our calculator here. So let's clear there. Oh, oh, okay. Now let's type 15 divided by 40. And you'll notice that the division sign means, the fraction bar means division. That'll give us 0.37, and that's a decimal. And they said put it as a percentage, so we have to multiply this by 100 to change it to a percentage. So we multiply by 100, or you can move the decimal point 2 places to the right as well. That's a little quicker, and we'll get our percentage, which would be 37.5%. That would be the amount of discount, the discount percent. And let's put a percent sign here. So 37.5%. So that's her change in discount. So we did a lot today. So check your understanding, see if you understand it so far. If you're still uncertain, write your questions down. I'll be glad to answer them in class. So watch the video again if you need to, and hopefully you got something out of it. Remember, dial a teacher at 212-777-3380 between 4 p.m. and 7 p.m. Watch our show, Math Time, on Tuesdays from 4:30 to 5 p.m. on IO Cablevision, Channel 15. And here's where we're going to pick up next time. So ladies and gentlemen, I hope you got something out of this video. I will see you again next time. This is Dr. Robinson signing off. Bye-bye.